I think the process of continuous education. So I did my MBA. I came straight out of business school, straight out of university, went straight, no practical training. So I was a member of a class that Dean Athos, who was the admissions tutor, described as the most naive class at the Harvard Business School because we were the youngest class. So I probably, if I went back again, I would still go straight from undergraduate school, but probably the most sensible thing is to do 2 years, no more than 2 years, of a job, practical training, and then go to business school, because that was the original deal. I think people who do business school now tend to be too old, meaning the original intention was that you did 2 years when you left first degree, then go back when you were about 23, and then come out when you're 25. Waiting till 25 or 26, I don't think is the right thing to do. Having said that, I think continuous education, to your point, is really, so what I would like to have done is do a PMD, like a program for management development, when I was about sort of in the 35, 40 age range for 3 months. And then maybe an AMP when I was about 40, 45, maybe even 50, advanced management program. In other words, it's ridiculous that we just do undergraduate and maybe postgraduate when we're in our late teens, 20s. What we should do is a process of continuous education. Just too many of them, all falling over themselves to compete, competing for teachers, competing for resources, competing for digital online resources. There aren't enough resources to go around. So what they should do is, it's a bit like charities. There are too many of those too, because everybody wants to build their own. Every college wants to. So there has to be an overall strategic plan. So, for example, in the UK or the US, I think somebody should set down some guidelines as to what the overall plan should be, because there are just too many, and they trip over one another. I remember when we were writing that report for the government in the late 90s, I think it was Imperial or University College got an endowment to start a business school. So they were all falling over themselves to recruit deans from one another and professors from one another, and they just bid up the price against one another, and it caused a problem. I think one of the really important things is that what business, and I feel as somebody who's trying to run a business, that's why we started our WPP fellowship program, which is our sort of mini MBA, if you like, and we have other MBA type programs that we do for our people, not that we're just trying to recruit, but people inside the company. What we want is people who are of value to us. And there is a conflict between what is of value to the individual and what's of value to the institution. And what we want, it's a bit like engineers. Rolls-Royce or GE will say, we don't get engineers who are practical that we can put on the production line immediately. We get engineers who are very good theoretical physicists or engineers. What we want is practical engineers. That's the same thing for us. So we have to have people. That's why we have the WPP fellowship program, 3 years in 3 different disciplines in 3 different geographies. Well, what's the excellence, I guess, is simply, a person that you might think is good and I might think is good might be 2 totally different people. So it's a very subjective process in many respects. But we get all our operating companies to come in and interview these people and then select the very best people for the program. And we have some really, really good people from the top schools. We like to go to the top schools because we think they self-select the students. So we already have a sort of a good bench strength to pick from. But we get really excellent candidates, and it's not as dominated, for obvious reasons, of laymen, etc., by the consultants and investment banks, although the consultants still have strong pull for good students. But we do get I think, more than our fair share. I don't think I'm a particular, it's far be it from me to give advice, but I think my dad used to say, find an industry that you enjoy. I think that's a critical thing. So the dividing line between sort of work and enjoyment and fun, there is no dividing line. They're one and the same things. So find something you enjoy, and if you feel like you want to start your own company, start your own company. But don't flip from flower to flower. The conventional wisdom now is that you go from one company to another to get experience. I'm obviously trying to build a long-term brand or a series of long-term brands, and therefore I want consistency. So, find an industry you like, find a company you like in that industry, build a career there, get a reputation. I don't mean sort of external reputation, get a reputation for success or achievement. And then if you fancy starting something on your own, do it. Well, I think you just have to keep talking to people, clients, obviously, people inside your business, people outside your business, competitors, journalists, analysts. You have to soak up, because you can't. Nobody has a monopoly on wisdom. Everybody can make a contribution. So I think talk to as many and listen to as many. That's also important. As you have to listen to as many people as you can. And within a business, you have a legacy business. You have to get the business to change functionally or geographically. There are two buckets: geography and function. Those are the two. In our case, it's technology. Geography and technology are the two areas. I mean, it's other sort of motherhood and apple pie, but those are the two areas you have to think about. Focus on them, and think about the changes that are taking place, and get your existing businesses to move faster, your digital businesses to move faster, and then experiment. Cannibalize your business, because if you don't, somebody else will. I'm in. I think the economic argument is overpowering. I don't think anybody really disputes that. People worry about sovereignty, which is the second bucket, if you like. And I can understand people worrying about, too much influence from Brussels and straight bananas versus bent bananas and that sort of thing. But the third one is something I just don't accept, and that is the immigration issue, a very emotional issue. I had a debate with a former Conservative minister, and I'm second-generation immigrant. My parents' parents came from the Ukraine and Romania and Poland. And I said to the ex-government minister who was arguing that we should come out of Europe, are you saying that immigration was a net negative for the British economy? To which he said, yes. I can't accept that. I think immigration has been a positive, and on that basis, my grandparents wouldn't have come here, certainly on my father's side, in 1899, not speaking a word of English, and they would have been refused admission. Now, some people might say it would have been better if they stayed out, and I wasn't here, but I don't think so.